and thank you very much to let me open that day for you. Varta, and I have a couple of slides with me. Varta is one of the global leading company for hearing aid batteries, but better known as the high power lithium-ion batteries. We move into the earbuds. So the earbuds, which become a standard for all the consumers, cable-free, a lot of comfort, noise cancellation. Everybody get used to those products, and we produce those small batteries and deliver that to the most prominent companies like Apple, like Samsung, and others. We have a unique expertise in the development of those batteries and a long-standing diversified battery brand. So we are active since more than 135 years in that business, and now we are concentrating on the small lithium-ion batteries. Within my presentation, I will showcase some of the strengths of Varta, and let me start with two slides where I want to touch what is driving Varta. So we are one of the market leaders in those small coin-shaped batteries which move into the earbuds. We have as well in the healthcare, a dominant market position. We are leading in that segment. We produce more than 1 billion primary cells for the hearing aids. As well, we produce and are active in the battery pack. So if you have, for example, a threading machine, if you have a vacuum cleaner, it is most likely that batteries and battery packs from Varta are included. And of course, we are active in the energy storage business. Energy storage, if you have a PV system on the roof of your house, of your home, then you want to charge and store the energy for use cases during the night, and storage system will help you on that. What is the future for the company? We have a stable basis of 450 patents and utility models, which gives us and makes us a highly innovative company, and gives us as well, I would say, a solid base for all future cases of different battery formats. V4Drive, I would say this is the focus on the company. That is our cell for e-mobility, and the same cell, slightly different from the technology called round power, is our round cell for all the other application. Currently, we produce around 10,000 V4Drive cells, so for the e-mobility a week. They are tested in cars under, I would say, low temperature, high temperature, on, I would say, day-to-day use cases of those cars, and we expect first revenues in 2024. Plant structure follows a modular system. We will start with 1 to 2 gigawatt factories, 1 gigawatt factory that will become the standard, and then we will duplicate that and make it larger and put that, I would say, factory by factory, side by side. Production is highly flexible, and this makes the battery attractive for many, many applications in the auto as well in all the other applications. If we look into the structure of Varta, then you see two segments on the left-hand side, the lithium-ion solutions, the micro battery segment, around counting for 50%, and as well household batteries counting for 50%. If you read that from left to right, micro batteries, it's a primary cell for hearing aids. We produce 1 billion cells. Lithium-ion coin power, that is a small battery format for TWS applications. Lithium-ion round power, we call that cell 21700 or booster cell. That is the first cell format which moves into the e-mobility. As well as the lithium-ion V4Drive and round power, they cover currently the same format. So two different applications, same cell format behind a different structure inside. Lithium-ion solutions, that is the power packs. If you have a vacuum cleaner, for example, which is cable-free, you need a solution, a power pack. On the right-hand side, consumer batteries, I think that is something where you're very familiar, because it is a custom face. This is our face to the customers directly. It is a AA, AAA battery format, which is used as a standard battery day-to-day in your remote control and other applications. And on the very right-hand side, you see the energy storage system, which gives you flexibility in using your photovoltaic energy. With this, it brings us into a prominent position globally in hearing aids and TWS and in consumer batteries. We are clearly #1 globally. We are in the top 10 for power pack solutions and as well for energy storage. If you look into more, I would say technology driven, and I don't want to touch every element, but just pick out 2 or 3 out of them. This gives you a little bit an insight how deep our value chain is. We really do nearly everything by our own. Of course, we source raw material, but all the other steps are done internally by Varta. So when you look at, for example, this element over here is a process development, the winding machines, that is the key, I would say, production process for the TWS batteries. We started with those machines by our own. As we needed more, then we outsourced that, and now we do the modification of the machine, so nobody else has, I would say, the same technology under one roof. We do as well the stamping of the bodies of the cell. We do, I would say, the closing. We do everything besides the chemistry, which we source from third parties. And with this, let me move into the first segment, coin power, as an ongoing success story. Those are the earbuds where we are in. Those are the healthcare devices, the hearing aids where we're in as well. Our products help our clients to make, I would say, the product smaller and more powerful. So the height of the batteries declined significantly. The talk time increased, so that gave our clients, I would say, a lot of flexibility to position their prime products into the market and have, I would say, good market success. How about the future? And now it becomes a little bit more technology. I don't want to get stuck in that chart, but I want to give you a little bit the roadmap. The A version or the A series, that is the most standard battery type within our portfolio. It has the highest volume, and you see where we start and where we want to end. And we started with the A4 version in 2021. And you see the energy density. So we move at around 65 milliampere hours, and we will end foreseeable future in 2026 with the A7 coming close to 100 milliampere hours. And this is done with no bigger cells. So I would say the outside of the cells stays and remains at the same level. There's no change on that. So it is highly sophisticating for us as a battery manufacturer to make, I would say, the battery more powerful. You can do that on the chemistry. That is continuously what we do, and that is, and again, you can optimize the inside structure, and that is as well a path which we follow. If we further look down, and now it becomes a little bit more visible for our plant, you see over here 3 buildings. Let me start with this as the first one. This is the current construction plant, or the plant where we produce TWS batteries. It's only for TWS batteries. Then we started to build a new plant, which is a double floor production plant with a technical floor in between. This is now ready and will be equipped with new production facilities. This is where we construct a power plant to, I would say, to get more independent from energy sourcing. Touching the next area, which is ground power, with the V4 drive and ground power. That is one use case is for the cars, e-mobility cars, and the second one are numerous cases which moves into the power packs or into the storage, and as well in other applications. So let me give some lights on that business. First, we see the market for lithium-ion cells. The biggest demand is coming from the e-mobility. That is why we are active, and we are just getting started in that business. You see that it has a relatively small proportion and total volume in 2020, but the forecast for 2030 is just huge. So it is by far the lithium-ion market for cells will be dominated by the e-mobility, and that is why we are in. We developed a cell which has very interesting elements and technical features. If you look on the left-hand side, that is our cell, and you see it's a little bit a heat map. So you see that the heat is, I would say, nicely spread over the cell in total, whereas the competitor cell, it is very much more concentrated. So the technique behind is that our cell has a low inner resistance. Therefore, it can, I would say, charge and discharge rapidly within 6 minutes up to 100%. And by doing so, it only gets hand warm. So the temperature goes up to 35 degrees, which is a huge advantage for all the car makers, because if you place thousands of them, I would say battery by battery, and very close to each other, they heat up each other, and you need a sophisticated cooling system not to overheat the battery. Overheating the battery is not good. That will destroy or at least harm the battery. So therefore, you must care about the battery and the surrounding of the battery. So it's a big advantage if it does not heat up very much. It works as well pretty good under very low temperatures. You know, if you drive an e-car, then you know if it's going below the freezing point, it gets somewhat lazy, the battery, typically for all the batteries, because batteries have a chemistry inside, and the chemistry reacts on different temperature. By having said that, we start with a battery format, which is a power cell. A power cell means that this cell is designed to work with a traditional combustion engine in parallel. So the combustion engine, the traditional engine, takes still, I would say, the majority of the work to speed up the car. And our cell is 0 to neutral and helps, I would say, to give an extra acceleration and an extra boost for top speed. We have, of course, a roadmap, because we will start on the left-hand side with a format 21700. It's an ultra high power cell, and this cell will be used for the combination with combustion engine. And then we go along the road, make the cells larger, and we will certainly end with a high energy cell, which is then designed for a BEV, so a fully electrified car, which is then for long distance purpose as well designed. We have a lot of experience with production, and you see a couple of production steps which are identical to the coin power cell, because the large format cell, the before drive cell, is per se from the, I would say, from the basic production identical with the coin power cell. So the coating, that is where anode and cathode are produced, that is done by us as well, by our own. It's identical. The winding, you see a machine over here where anode, cathode, and separator come together and make, I would say, the battery work. That is a similar process. The large format cell is a little bit larger. That is why we say it is similar process. And then we have two steps which are different. And then we come to the formation. The formation means that you have to charge and discharge a couple of times the cells to make them active and to check if they are working properly. So a lot of experience over here. A lot of experience over here with the new cell format. And just as an illustration, the new plant will look like this. It will be a production plant which is 300 meters long, and it will cover the first step until the last step. So you really start, I would say, mixing for the coating. You do the coating, you do the winding, and at the very end, you get the finished product ready for shipment. And that is the idea. And to duplicate those production plants and make it a modular system to stay flexible to the demand of the industry. There is much more, and if you look into the different segments where our battery as well fits and have good business opportunities, you see that it is over in the power tools, it is in home and gardening, it is domestic appliances, a vacuum cleaner, it is automated guided vehicles, it is forklifters, for example, what you see over here. It is the e-bike segment. It is as well agriculture, construction, delivery, and others. So all of them need powerful cells They need larger cells than the coin shells, and we are ready to equip those segments as well. Household batteries. It is a more standardized business. You see the AA, AAA, we produce more than 2 billion batteries a year. We are Europe-wide one of the leading companies, or we are the leader. Globally, we have a pretty good position, but Europe-wide, we are the leader. This is our, I would say, battery, which goes directly to the end consumer and which is very much by our own strong brand driven and supported. This is the latest generation of our storage system. It is super slim. It is powerful. We see super good growth opportunities in those markets. We produce them and we sell them through the installer. So not directly, because you as an individual person are not allowed to install this high voltage on your home. You need an installer, but we make it ready for use. And of course, it has all the standard features which traditionally you need. So you can steer that through the app and so on. What comes next in that segment? A more structural. If you look into the middle, the latest generation is a wall generation, which will start in 2022 and start with first sales early 2023. Next wall 2024 will come. We have as well smaller devices which start at around 5,000 euros for super small PV systems. And of course, we are active in the commercial business with flex storage and with others. So having said this, this is our roadmap. Let me finish the session just to remind you, no, not to remind me, to remind you. This is, of course, a year of transition for Varta. We skipped the guidance for this year because we were heavily hit by energy prices, by raw material prices. Our clients were hit by consumer sentiment. So a lot of, I would say, challenging elements which came to the company, and that is why we skipped the guidance. We work hard to make that period without a guidance in the market very short. So we will come back with the guidance as soon as possible. Varta is active in one of the most fascinating industries with huge opportunities. The battery business is the key industry during this year and the years to come. The industry will develop new battery formats, and we are very innovative to play a significant role in that segment. And of course, the demand from the industry is outstanding. There's a lot of experimenting by the OEMs to produce the batteries by themselves or to source outside. We are close to the big OEMs in the south of Germany, and we are optimistic that we become part of their selection and delivery process. With this, stay close to us. Look at us, what we do. We will keep you informed. And with this, back to Matthias. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernhard. Yes, you're all welcome to post questions through the Q&A function or the chat. We already have some questions for you. I hope you're willing to answer in the last 10 minutes some of the questions. Maybe we even have too many questions. Let's see. The first one was, when will the contracts with the BEV manufacturers be announced?
There is one which is already announced, and this is a contract which we now fulfill. So we do a lot of testing. Let me remind you that OEMs traditionally need some lead time. There's a qualification process which goes over some, I would say, levels. Typically, you call that qualification A, B, C. We passed A and B, so 2 levels already done. After the C level, the battery format is frozen, and then it goes one-to-one into, I would say, the production. So we work hard to bring new contracts on board. Currently not yet signed. So, but as we know, everybody is keen to follow us on that path. We will do that as quickly as it is signed, announce that. We can always say which OEM. I can't guarantee, because this is as well, I would say, a discussion with the OEM itself if he wants to be named. but we definitely will do our utmost to make that a quick process.
Thank you. Another question is, in the ad hoc that you issued on Friday, you mentioned that 2 large orders were delayed, and it is speculated that is around the AirPods Pro 2. And does the other delay also relate to the existing business with the same client?
It comes from the micro batteries, because this is still, I would say, the most important segment for the company from the profitability and as well from the growth perspective. Delayed means that they started slow, but I can as well say that we are in the largest 2 manufacturers that we equip them with our batteries. Yes, they were late, or the qualification process or the approval was somehow delayed. That is what I can say. Okay.
And what is the impact of the sharp rise of the energy prices in the current years? What do you expect? What kind of impact do you expect in the coming years, and by what factor?
Hard to predict. I can give you, I would say, some more concrete answer for this year. At half year's level, we calculated 32 million extra costs for raw materials and energy, and that is the ratio between both is 50/50. So 50% is coming from the energy cost, 50% from raw materials. Now we're exceeding that level, so we expect a higher proportion of extra costs. Again, that's more than 32 million on a full year basis. It's hard to predict for next year. I showcased a power plant which is under construction, which helps us in the future, but that still needs, I would say, some time to get ready and to impact. And it's hard to predict. I think winter will be for all of us a tough time, and next year I would say I'm slightly more optimistic that it get a more normalized, I would say, pricing season, but that is all speculation. I would say nobody can predict what will happen in the future on that area.
And do you have some of the energy costs hedged?
Yeah, that's a good question. Typically, we do that. But you know, for example, for the TWS, stainless steel has the highest proportion of production costs, and we are not, as I would say, energy rich and raw material rich, that we have huge volumes which we can, I would say, secure. So for certain elements we do, for others we just don't have, I would say, the volumes behind.
Okay. And currently the last question regarding the energy, can you say from which sources do you get it? Is it from gas, or is it just general energy?
No, gas plays a role. Gas plays a role, and we already I would say did some stress tests on our production plants. And the good message is that we are relatively robust, so we can still produce if the gas is cut by 50%, which is really a good news. If it goes beyond, it gets complex. But we need as well gas. We need electricity. That is from the energy side, I would say, both the 2 strong elements.
Then there were a couple of questions about the V4 drive. Where will it be produced, and can you talk a bit more about the specifications about the V4 drive?
Yeah, so we have numerous options. It all comes, I would say, the size of the contracts in the future. Typically, OEMs contract for a couple of years, up to 7 years. If you get huge volumes, we have to, I would say, to look where to produce. Currently, I would say Varta is known as to keep, I would say, all the production plants close to each other. We have 3 production plants in the south of Germany, in Baden-Württemberg, and then in Bavaria. And those plants are typically, they are 30 kilometers each away from each other. This gives us a lot of flexibility. This gives us from the production as well, from the R&D and so on. So we will try to keep it this way. If it gets larger, we can as well look outside of Germany.
Okay. And Yeah, there's the concrete question. Will it be produced in Romania, or is that an option for you?
Romania is an option. We are already there in Batam. So from that, it is an option. But the key question is how much volume is needed and how much volume is contracted. But I would not exclude. Currently, it's not our main focus, but I would not exclude.
Okay. And in the current market environment, do you expect more consolidation, or is there space for inorganic growth from your side?
Varta is not known as an aggressive M&A partner in the market. We did one acquisition that was Varta Consumer, but that was, I would say, more to bring a company which was in former times part of Varta back into this group. So from that, I think we have what we need. We did develop a lot of things by our own, and we cooperate on R&D, for example, with a couple of prominent partners. We as well cooperate with industry. So I would say we follow the following way. We do things by our own. We have a super deep value chain, and we are open for all, I would say, cooperation on technology.
Mm-hmm. And there's the same question in reverse. Maybe can you talk about the current shareholder structure, and could Varta be a target itself?
Yeah, currently I don't see that. 54% is sold by the Montana Group with Dr. Theuner behind. He, as an entrepreneur, is as well a head of a supervisory board. So currently with 54%, what I take out of conversations with him, he's currently not willing to reduce below 50. Until he stays on that level, I would say this question is not really a one which is, I would say, on our table.
Okay, and there's a question about the Apple earbuds, and what's your current market share with that after having having 100% a few years ago?
Yeah, that's right. Both is right. We were the entrepreneur. We were the first mover into the market. So that is why we came with a super strong market share. Let me remind you, if you have 100% of 50 million shares, 50 million battery cells, that is, I would say, excellent. But if you have 50% on the 200 million or 400 million market, it's even better. So the market developed rapidly, and we always target a market share of 50%, 50% of the premium TWS earbuds. So we are not in the lower end of the market active, where the devices are sold at 50 euros or 60 euros or something like that. That is not an area where our battery really can play and can bring an advantage for the manufacturers. But for the premium products, you mentioned the Pros, the Pro 2, the Samsung products, typically high-end products, our target is 50%, and we currently see that we are in the range of that 50%.
Excellent. So we have 40 seconds left, so I don't think that we have time for another question. Thank you very much for this great presentation and all the questions that you have answered. So I hope you can meet again at the next IIF. Thank you again.
Will do, Matthias. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the interest and the question, and good luck for the conference. Thank you. Bye-bye.